Hello, this is Christian from Contact Solutions, and this is how to double the efficiency of your employees using ChatGPT. Let's get into it. So what are we gonna look at today? We're gonna look into every single department in any single business, right? So we've got the CEO and management, HR and recruiting, sales, marketing, ops and support, and finance. We're gonna look into all of those and give you guys prompts to use right now that you could use to improve the efficiency of what you're doing. Get stuff done quicker and in some cases better. Now, for all the prompts I'm gonna show you guys, what I suggest you do is take a screenshot of the video with a prompt you want to actually use, then paste that screenshot to ChatGPT and tell it to transcribe the text. That way, you've got the prompt as written right here on this video for your own use case. Let's dive in. So first of all, CEO and management. In my opinion, the best way to get value out of ChatGPT as a CEO and management officer, I would say, is first to create yourself a business AI assistant. So this is a quick prompt I use to really have an AI assistant that gives me great business advice on what I should do next and where to position myself. So it combines the analytical prowess of Elon Musk, the scaling expertise of Sam Walton, and lots of different stuff, right? So, and here you want to give it context about your business. What that means is it takes on your website, the description, what you guys do, what business model, where, how many employees, every single detail you can give it so it can actually work with it and give you valuable advice. Now, what can you actually do with such as AI assistant? So here is for the simple use cases, right? Summarizing documents, meetings, transcripts, videos. So either summarizing PDF reports, that would be also analyzing meetings, whatever. Also using AI to write emails to your staff, etc. You could use that as just copy some email you've received, then paste it to GPT, ask for a response, or just completely automate it, which is a bit more complicated. The biggest value add here for the business AI system is just getting advice business memory. It's for example here, right? This is a quick example of what I could do. So to compare pros and cons of outsourcing customer service, just keeping it in-house for 20 employee SME. Now I would say that it's way better at giving you actual business advice if it knows exactly your situation. So what I always say is just give it exactly your situation, where you're at, what your struggles are, and ask it for a solution. It can also come up with plans and ideas of what you can do, right? If it knows your situation well, if it can strategize on where the next move should be, and also organize your week or even weekly priorities based on business goals or where you are and where do you want to go. Now, let's get into sales. We've got a couple very interesting things to meddle around with. So we've got 4 different things I want to look at. There's also very simple stuff you can do with ChatGPT. So you can prep faster for meetings. This is, if I would actually recommend Perplexity for this one, as it is way better looking up info on the internet. But you can, for example, ask it to give you a summary sheet on a company, their problem needs, key selling points to focus on. So you know before the meeting or even the recent achievements they've got, you can really have it in front of you before you go into the meeting so you're 100% prepared. And it looks like you've done an hour worth of research as you just did 5 seconds. Now, it very much help you handle objections just with here asking it for different objections and then asking how do you respond to these objections. Now I'm going to give you a life hack right here, which I'm going to get into as the 4th one. So, which is also kind of based on this. So you can also review sales goals and you can give it a role to play as an amazing sales coach. Tell it to be very precise and not really just focus on results and not your feelings, for example, to give it really the rawest things you need to change, and then paste the actual transcript of the meeting. So now it knows exactly where you could improve, how did you handle the objections, etc. Now, the best thing you can do with ChatGPT, I'm very sorry about that, is to role play with the text to speech feature to improve sales skills. You can actually take your ChatGPT, turn it into voice mode, and just speak to it as you would have been on a sales call, and tell it beforehand to role play as a customer. Now, of course, it needs to know what your offer is, what your business is, etc. And you need to tell it who is role playing as in your ideal customer profile. And from there, you can actually train yourself to respond to objections, to respond to all of that stuff, which on the long term, of course, is going to improve your skills, sales skills by a lot. Now we're moving into marketing. Here is 3 things that I really want to cover in marketing. First of all, we talked about ACP before. AI is really good at finding pain points, dreams of the ACP, and different things you can find on the internet. Do some research to find what info you actually need about them if you're not that familiar with them. So you could do a couple even buyer personas, right, with different fears, different objectives, different dreams, and use it all and create it up in 5 seconds. Now, from that, you could go into generating a plan for content, for email marketing, for anything, any type of marketing material you want, or write it. So, for example, you could do a 30-day content plan with structure to achieve a certain goal of brand awareness or conversions or followers, whatever you want to do. And then you could even go ask it to write content that converts, to write good CTAs, to really focus on the pain points, etc. Now, I want to say that on the actual writing of the content part, it can come off sometimes as generic, but it's very good at giving good ideas and giving new angles you haven't thought of. So that's where I would use it the most, is to give it me angles, ideas I have not thought of before, to just simplify the A/B testing process and give me new angles that could be very much the winning ones. Now let's go into finance. Here I've got only 2 things, but very important. First of all, you can analyze monthly expenses and find optimization areas. Okay, where are we losing money? What can we do different? This is very good paired with the business AI assistant. Plus, if it knows exactly your situation right now, the business goals you have, it can give you very good advice on how we can save money, how we can allocate the money to somewhere else to achieve that goal. And also summarizing and interpreting financial documents. So you could, if you're, for example, a CEO not very well versed in finance, and your finance team is very much just overrun, you could do it yourself, summarize it using AI. Now that's crazy, right? So with a simple prompt like this, you could probably pull it off. Now let's go into HR and recruitment. Here I've got 4 things to share with you. First of all, kind of related to writing content as we did in marketing, right over here. This is writing targeted job descriptions. So that is also copywriting, that is also playing off dreams and pain points of your ICP, which would be the person looking for the job. Screen resumes, I'm 100% sure you know this one, as it saves so much time. You could just pass all the resumes you get for a job through ChatGPT, filter for the 10% best and only do interviews with them or only respond to them. That's a very common practice, especially now that AI is here. Before, of course, it was just based off algorithms for a specific, for example, grade. But with ChatGPT, it can come with personality, with story, with lots of different things except just numbers, right? Also, prepare smart interview questions. So now that you've got the resume screen, you can also use it to prepare smart interview questions. So now that you've got the resume screened or just the pure resume, you can pass it to ChatGPT and ask it, okay, give me 5 questions that are very specific to this one person. So it gives me, shows me their personality, their goals, their ambitions, and if they're a very good fit for this specific position. And also it helps you streamline performance reviews. So this is something, right, that takes a bunch of time, and you need to go through lots and lots of data, and ChatGPT can just do it in a couple seconds. Now we'll go to ops and support. So here, you could use it to, for example, answer FAQs automatically. So the only thing you need to do is just have a custom GPT, upload your company documents. You could do the same thing with a business AI advisor or assistant right here. Just use a custom GPT structure, upload the documents you need, and there we go. You have a very much usable AI assistant. You could use it to just browse through internal documents. You could use it to retrieve for customer service any FAQs that just you take a lot of time to check on your own, right? And are very annoying to do. Also, on the ops and support side, you could build internal SOPs in seconds, because you could just, for example, have a kind of defined process how you do things, and then throw, let's say, 5 steps, throw it on ChatGPT, ask it to create a clear step-by-step SOP, and ask it to, okay, if there's any steps missing, please tell me. And from there, it will just give you interview questions on, okay, how do you do this, how do you do that, how do you do this, to have a really 100% fail-proof system to do a specific task. And it can also summarize training guides. So it's, for example, for any tool you're using, you can very much summarize those and find you the things that you actually care about and you actually need at the moment. And that's it. Be sure to test it out and leave any tips and tricks in the comments below. If you found any value in this video, please leave a like and a subscribe. And if you want to work with us to implement something a little bit more than just using ChatGPT in your business, we're offering right now 30-minute free AI audits for any company. So you can just go to our website, book the AI audit, and we'll see each other on the call.